Now that you have images in Lightroom, feel free to play around with them. A really good idea is to take an image that you want to work with and make a virtual copy of it first. So I'm going to choose this one right here. I'm going to go into Photos, then I'm going to come down to Create Virtual Copy. As we see here, there's the original, there's a virtual copy. If I click on the one of two, it will stack those two images. If I click on the two, it will unstack the images. Okay, I'm going to work on my copy now. To work on my copy, I'm going to go to the Develop module, and I'm just going to start messing around by swinging sliders around and see what happens. Oh, that looks pretty bad. So what can I do to make the image look better or different? I can play with that a little bit. I'll work around, mess with my exposure, definitely increase the contrast, and then play with the highlights a little bit. I'm not working to create an interesting image, but I want to know what happens if I swing the slider from one direction to the other. If everything starts to look a little wonky and you got everything kind of crazy and you need to get back, all you have to do is double click on the name of the tool that you just used and it will zero it out back to where it was. Another option would be to come over here on the history on the left hand side and come back up to your original virtual copy, and that will also bring it back. Now let's go ahead and see if we can just increase the blacks, increase the whites, increase the contrast, and I am going to increase the vibrance a little bit but bring my saturation down. If I wanted to crop into the image, I can do that too. I hit the return key to accept the crop. Okay, now I kind of want to see this image bigger, so I'm going to strike the tab key, and what that does is it hides the tools on the left and the right hand side of my screen. That looks pretty nice. Now that I've done that, I might want to see the before and after, and so I can click on this. Again, that tab key is really handy here. And I can keep clicking on the Y to take a look at different views and see which one works best for me, and then I can go back to the original. Hitting the tab key again gets me back into my dashboard that has all my tools. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and export these two images. Often in our class, we're going to ask you to give us your original image and your final image afterwards. So what you need to do is click on the first image, hold down the Shift key, and click on the second image that you want to export. Once you have those two images selected, go to the library, click on the export key, and this dialog box will show up. Now you want to work your way from the top of the dialog box to the bottom. Definitely you're going to export to a hard drive, and I can go in and I can choose the folder that I want. I created one on the desktop here called Assignments. I'm going to go ahead and choose that. And then if I want to create a subfolder in here, I sure can, but I'm not going to at this time. I don't need to create a catalog, and if any existing files exist, I want Lightroom to ask me what to do. I do want to custom name this file. Please pay attention to your assignments so that you are getting the names correctly. Usually it's the last name hyphen and the assignment name with lowercase extension. If we were working with video, I would work with the video outputs there, but I don't work with video a lot, so I just keep that closed. My file settings, we are going to export the files in a lot of different ways, so definitely pay attention if we need a Photoshop document, a TIFF document, or a JPEG. Also, if you are going to have a JPEG or any other document, definitely pay attention if you're going to have to change a JPEG or any other document. Definitely pay attention if you're going to have to change the quality, change the color space, and if you're going to have to limit your file size. You may have to change the size of your image, and so if you do that, you're going to do that under image sizing. You can often choose your long edge, and you can say that you need that long edge to be 3000 pixels. Don't enlarge the image, and I want the resolution at 72 pixels per inch. I'm not going to require any sharpening for output, and I only want to put my copyright information on my images. Excellent. Do not watermark your images unless we ask you to, and at post-processing after the export, I'm asking Lightroom to do nothing. So let's go ahead and click on that export. Remember how I said, hey, if this has the same file name, let me know? This is Lightroom protecting me, saying these names already exist. That's okay. What I want to do is, in this case, I want to overwrite. I could skip, which means that Lightroom won't export it, or I can choose a unique name. In this case, again, I need to overwrite it. In the upper left-hand corner, I can see that Lightroom is exporting the file. If I take a look at that file right here, I can see that both of those files were exported. Excellent. So that's how you export in Lightroom. Once again, play around, get curious, and see what you can make Lightroom do for you. Click on that export. Remember how I said, hey, if this has the same file name, let me know? This is Lightroom protecting me, saying these names already exist. That's okay. What I want to do is, in this case, I want to overwrite. I could skip, which means that Lightroom won't export it, or I can choose a unique name. In this case, again, I need to overwrite it. In the upper left-hand corner, I can see that Lightroom is exporting the file. If I take a look at that file, right here, I can see that both of those files were exported. Excellent. So that's how you export in Lightroom. Once again, play around, get curious, and see what you can make Lightroom do for you. I need to overwrite it. In the upper left-hand corner, I can see that Lightroom is exporting the file. If I take a look at that file, right here, I can see that both of those files were exported. Excellent. So that's how you export in Lightroom. Once again, play around, get curious, and see what you can make Lightroom do for you. Excellent. So that's how you export in Lightroom. Once again, play around, get curious, and see what you can make Lightroom do for you.